Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I'm back with another custom piece for you today. And today we have got a special, very special custom knife. This knife is made by a very well-known South African custom knife maker. His name is Andre Thorburn, and a lot of people on YouTube have done videos on this guy. Nick Shabazz has done a video on him. Epic Snuggle Bunny's done a video on him. Jim Skeleton has done a video on him. Dr. Frunky has done a video on him. So a lot of people on YouTube have talked about this guy's work. His work is very phenomenal. He's in my opinion, he's a very precise custom knife maker. Everything on the knife is always very smooth, and all the edges have been tapered to a point that's almost ridiculous. And the materials that he uses are, they're becoming a little bit more exotic, and maybe you may not see stuff like that on every knife. So I want to talk about this knife right now. So first of all, one of the reasons I got the knife was because it was a front flipper. As you can see, the knife has a nub at the top, and for a lot of you guys, you may not know how to front flip, but this one, the way this knife was designed, he made it incredibly easy. Basically, you just take your thumb and you just run across that nub and the knife will pop right open. Some of the front flippers are quite difficult to open just because the flipper actually rides quite low on the knife, and sometimes your hand will slip and you don't get it. But Andre took care of that by making the front flipper up at the top the right height for the knife, and pretty much he made it so that anybody can just flip it open. I'm pretty sure that even if you've never front flipped a knife, this is definitely one of those that would not be a problem. So let's go ahead and get some size comparisons out of the way so you guys can see the size of the knife. It is a medium to small size knife. I'm going to put it up against, how about my anodized Spyderco Swiss Bowie, which will be re-anodized again, by the way, by my friend Troy. If you haven't seen that video, you can check that one out. So there it is up against the Spyderco Swiss Bowie anodized, and up against my anodized zero tolerance ZT0900, which is now discontinued, but you guys might still be familiar with this knife. So there you go. And how about we put it up against a bigger knife? How about the large Sebenza 21 with the bog oak inlays? As you guys can tell, it's kind of been used up there, so it's not as pretty as it used to be. But maybe that's when I'll begin to do the Chris Reeve spot treatment on that. So there you go. There it is up against a large Sebenza 21, which, by the way, is now discontinued. You guys know about that. It's now the Sebenza 31, but that'll be another video for another time. Here it is up against a small Sebenza 21. So with the burl inlays, elder burl inlays. So there you have it. So it's a medium-sized knife. Let's go ahead and go over the specs on it real quick. And it turns out I actually have the information card from the Blade Gallery, which is not where I purchased it, but that's where the knife came from. And that's another reason why I bought it, because I know the guys down at the Epicurean Edge. They are friends of mine now. So this knife is made by Andre Thorburn. It is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece. So this piece here, you're never going to see another one like it ever again. You may see one that's similar, but it'll have different stuff on it. It's not going to be the same exact knife. This was made all by hand. So the blade length is 3.4 inches. The cutting edge is 3.3 inches. The total length of the knife is 7.6. At the heel, it's 0.95. At the blade thickness near the bolster is 0.12. At midpoint, it is 0.11. Blade thickness, it's 0.7. Item weight is 3.8 ounces. And the blade is RWL 34 PM stainless steel, which I believe, I could be wrong, but it is basically non-patterned Damascus, from what I understand. So let's go ahead and bring out the knife again. So let's take a look at some of the workmanship on this piece, which is not something that you normally do with production knives. On production knives, it is what it is. They usually don't have a lot of bling on it. They might have a, a carbon fiber inlay, but other than that, there's really, there really isn't a plethora of materials to talk about. But on this piece, there's a lot. So the knife has black marble carbon fiber on both sides of the knife. It's got a titanium pocket clip for you to use. It comes in blue titanium liners. And the back spacer has got very fine file-worked titanium on there. As you can see, that was all done completely by hand. If you can get your hand and feel across it, everything is nice and smooth. Very, very tight. It's got some jimping up at the top of the knife for you to get in. The ergos on the knife are very, very good. They are excellent. No problems there. The jimping is definitely... the jimping on this knife is just perfect. In other words, it's not too rough. It's not too, like, where your thumb would slip off on it. It's just perfect. But then again, you have to understand this is a custom knife. This is not the kind of knife that you're going to go into the woods and go slinging trees with it. This is a work of art, basically, which is mostly what custom knives are. However, you will, on occasion, you will find a custom knife that does resemble a tool. Which might leave some of you guys to be open to maybe getting your first custom. I would definitely recommend this one right here, which is the Andre Van Heerden. As you can see, this is also a custom knife. I'm going to put this aside for now and continue on. This is also a custom knife, but it just basically has 2 slabs G10 on it, right? So, all right, so continuing on with Andre Thorburn. And my brand new piece, like I said, I do love this piece. One of the things that makes this knife really interesting is the bolster work on this. This is made with zirconium. And while Andre Thorburn makes the entire knife, the person that does this zirconium work up here and this design is his wife. So that kind of makes it kind of nice. And the bolster work is done by, and I have the certificate of authenticity right here. It's done by Marguerite High Thorburn, which is Andre Thorburn's wife. So, really nice. So, yeah, there's the certificate of authenticity. You guys get a little closer look at that. From Andre Thorburn himself. As you can see, he signed it. So, there you have it. And the information card is only from the Blade Gallery, the people that are sponsoring his work and allowing him to sell his work in the store. So, it's a really great relationship that he has with the Blade Gallery. Every so often, he brings out a new knife. So, again, it's a beautiful piece of art, this knife. The knife runs on IKBS, not steel ball bearings, but ceramic ball bearings, which means that the knife, and it's definitely one of my favorite reasons to get a custom, is most customs, or some of the customs now, are beginning to be made with ceramic ball bearings, which means you're going to get a smoother action. And also, you can see right there, it says ceramic on it. Also, you don't need to oil this knife. It will stay this smooth. I wanted to go over the smoothness too. As you can see how smooth that is, it almost falls shut. I barely even closed it, really. It just fell all... There you go. So, with the ceramic bearings, you're getting a much more smoother action. And when it falls, you're not going to get it to where it either... Almost, on a lot of the knives that are ceramic, they almost practically fall completely shut with just a quick flick of your hand. The entire blade will just fall right into the handle. This is not my first Andre Thorburn piece. My other Andre Thorburn piece is here, which is the Andre Thorburn marbled carbon fiber twill piece. And this one falls shut, and it's also made ceramic. Check that out. So it's a really smooth knife. Andre Thorburn is also known for his hard detent sometimes. Like this one has a real hard detent. I gotta actually pull on that pretty hard to get it to pop open like that. The centering on his knives are always dead on. I don't think I've ever seen an Andre Thorburn knife that was off-centered. I mean, they are just always perfect, and as is the case with my new one. So, I mean, if you're in a point in your knife collecting where you're looking to step up again, and maybe you've already passed that Chris Reeve mark, and I'm not necessarily saying that Chris Reeve means that you're going to go custom. Chris Reeve is just Chris Reeve. It's just a knife. But if you're, what happens with knife collecting is that you get to a point where, you know what, I bought like 15 ZTs, I bought like 5 Spydercos, I get it, I know what they're all about. I want a new knife experience, and if you're ready to spend the money for knives like this, I don't even think that's even going to be an issue for you either, because it wasn't with me. In fact, I still owe like $300 on this knife, and I don't care. So, I mean, basically what it just depends on whether or not you really feel you're ready to do this. I'm telling you, once you do this, I'm going to let you guys know right now, if you're thinking about going into customs, or higher range knives, there's no turning back, unfortunately, because the production knives, they may not necessarily draw your attention. I mean, to give you case in point, I mean, my Spyderco Swishball is still just as smooth as the day that I got it, and I do carry it quite a lot, and I do use it quite a lot. But the fascination for it, as far as that feeling of wow, that wow factor, I have to admit, it has actually diminished. Why? Because I own the knife and I've been using it every day, and that's pretty much what happens to you when you go into customs. I have been using it. You could say I've had a new edge put on it, so because it actually did get a little dull. And no, I did not sharpen it myself because I can't sharpen CTS HXP. But anyway, that's the blade on this knife as well, CTS HXP. This one is L48, so, which is non-pattern Damascus, and this is the one that's a front flipper. So, yeah, I mean, Andre Thorburn is a wonderful start to collection. If you want a good solid knife, and you feel like you want something special but not too special, Andre Thorburn is definitely the way to go. The size of his knives are always the right size. The precision of the mechanics of the making of his knife are always superb. The materials that he uses, they are very, very elegant. I mean, this is a very elegant looking knife. This is practically pocket jewelry. You could wear this with his suit, and no one would even question, well, why does he have that thing in his pocket? I mean, it looks like, it basically, that bolster there looks like it belongs on a chandelier, doesn't it? It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, and the file work on this. I think Jim Skelton did an entire video on just the file work on this guy. That pattern that he does completely by hand. I mean, just absolutely very well crafted. The screws that he uses are so freaking tiny, you almost don't even notice that they're there. But they just add that little touch of bling to the carbon fiber, and it does stand out. In fact, it's practically invisible on the zirconium section of the knife. Right there, there's the screw, but you can't really see it. It just kind of hides within the zirconium, which I think was probably his intention. I don't know. It could be wrong. Maybe it just worked out that way for him. And the marble carbon fiber, which is different than the carbon fiber that you find on some of the production knives. This is a very rare material. But I think in South Africa, it's probably like something you just get off the ground and shape it and put it on there. But yeah, it's definitely material that a lot of knife makers use, and Andre uses it just beautifully on his pieces. That's what fascinates me about customs is what was the guy thinking when he made the knife? I mean, I can imagine there's somebody out there right now trying to make his first custom knife in a style like this and probably not getting it done correctly. He probably has a lot to learn, who knows? But yeah, I mean, someone like Andre Thorburn, he is definitely a consummate of his craft. Definitely recommend this knife maker if you want to get into customs. They're very, very beautiful knives. I mean, like, and it's not really the only style that he has. Like I said, he's also got this style. I've seen this knife in a different steel, and I believe I've seen it in red carbon fiber twill. Really beautiful. This is not going to be the only two that I'm going to own with Andre Thorburn. I'm probably going to get another Andre Thorburn piece, but I really wanted you guys to take a look at it so you can see what it is that you pay for when you go this route. Because as you get into customs, you begin to realize that all knife makers do things the way they want to do them. They all use different materials to make their pieces. And it's just a whole other genre and a whole other world of knife making that you're going to open up to and be introduced to. Some of the materials they use are so exotic. Some of them are like giraffe bone and shark teeth and who knows what else they use, but they use it in a way that it actually fits with the contours of a knife. Go figure. And that's what kind of makes it so interesting with custom knives. Table price on this knife, well, I bought it for $650. I talked to my friend Daniel O'Malley, who actually runs the Blade Gallery, and he told me that he actually sold the knife to the original owner for $950. So it's a very, very pricey hobby to get into. You can't buy too many, at a time, although I can't really say that about myself. I got carried away and actually bought like 3 of them my first shot, paid down my credit card, and just said, okay, I started. So now I am currently up to 10 customs, guys. So it's just, like I said, it's just something that gets you. If you're passionate about it, you're going to continue, and the passion will make you crazy. So Andre Thorburn, definitely a knife maker I highly recommend. You're definitely going to want to get into it. If you're lucky enough to catch him on Instagram, talk with him, he's a real nice guy. Well, actually, I don't even know why I even said he's a real nice guy. I never even spoken to him. I tried Instagramming him. He hasn't answered me back. There's the truth right there. Hopefully he will answer me back, and I'll have a different answer the next time I make a video. But, yeah. Teamwork is what it's all about. Yeah, so his wife makes this, and he makes the rest of the knife. So you can imagine this part of the knife being completely blank, and he hands it over to the missus, and she takes care of this for him. And it is just beautiful. So definitely very happy to have this in my collection. So there you have it. Showcasing today, Andre Thorburn, definitely one of my favorite custom knife makers. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out at Andre Thorburn Knives. You'll see some of the more beautiful knives that he makes. I'm probably going to get a larger Andre Thorburn knife in the future, and if Daniel O'Malley at thebladegallery.com is listening, I want a larger one the next time. Maybe a nice 3.5-inch knife instead of the medium-sized one. So yeah, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite custom knife makers, along with John Arnold, which I have. But yeah, so anyway, the table price for this one would be about $950. Table price on this knife, I believe, was $780 for this one. I love this one too. Like I said, I love the style of his screws, the way he does the screws on that. And I don't know if you can tell in the light, but the bolster is also blue. The pivot is blue. Everything on this knife is blue. And it's blue in a way that's just really elegant. And I had to have, again, the file work on there. If you see the file work on it, it's completely different. It's not the same. They're almost completely different in a way. So kind of similar, I guess, almost, but quite different on that. So There you have it, Andre Thorburn. This is Omar the Knife Shark Guy, hoping that you will find one of these pieces of sharp art in the near future if you're there already. If not, don't worry about it. It's going to happen anyway. I guarantee it. But if you're not there yet, don't worry. I mean, you'll be there. You'll be there. And when you know, unless you decide to completely quit collecting, you'll elevate yourself to the next level. And once you get there, you won't stop. So this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off. And I also wanted to announce before I close this video, again, I ran it long, so I apologize. My next video is going to be a Kershaw, because you guys know I do the Kershaw discontinued knives. And my next discontinued knife is coming on Tuesday, so more than likely next Friday I'll do a video on that one. I hope you guys will tune in for that. In the meantime, yeah, I'll be doing more videos on, you know, custom knives and talking about custom knives and Kershaw as well. Also wanted to announce, if you guys like my style of talking about knives, or knife talk, I guess, because it's not really a review. But I do reviews. If you guys are interested in me reviewing your knife, we can make arrangements to have that happen. If you like, you could pay for the shipping on the way there, on the way to me, and I'll pay for the shipping on the way back, or however you want to work it out. I promise you, you will get the knife back in exactly the same condition that I got it in, guaranteed. So there you have it, Andre Thorburn. This is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night, guys.